I know if you're new to fishing or if you're new to artificial lures, it is hard to figure out where to start. And to make it worse, when you go to the tackle store, you go to the box store, there is just a ton of different lures out there of all different colors, and it can be really, really confusing. So that's what I want to do in this video is I want to talk about where you should start if you're brand new with lures. I'm going to give you 2 lures that's going to make it super simple to get started. So let's get right into it. As I said in the beginning of the video, it is super hard sometimes to figure out where to start because you go out there, there's a ton of different lures, you get a bunch of different advice. There's a whole different, rainbow of selections out there. But what I would like to do is I'm going to tell you where you should start based off of your experience level, and not saying that any of those lures that are recommended to you will work. They absolutely will. You can catch fish on just about anything. The difference is your skill level, and you need lures that are adaptable to what you know. So first thing I'm going to do is I am going to recommend a 3.5-inch paddle tail, and I like white. And the reason why I recommend this particular color and size is because it is the most universal. It will catch fish anywhere on the planet. It doesn't matter if you're freshwater fishing, inshore fishing, saltwater fishing, you can catch fish on this lure. And the best thing about it is it's actually really easy to use. It's one of those lures where you just cast it out and retrieve. Sure, there might be other lures in certain situations that might be more effective, but if you don't know how to work that lure, you don't know what you're doing, you'll wind up not catching anything. And this paddle tail is a do-all lure. It doesn't matter if you're fishing in 10 inches of water, if you're fishing in 10 feet of water, the rigging on this is what makes the difference. So you could put it on a light rigging hook like a 16th ounce or an 1/8 ounce, and you can fish this thing in shallow water, less than a foot deep, or you can put a jig head on it. You can put a 1/4 ounce jig head or a 3/8 ounce jig head, and you could be fishing in 10, 12, 14 feet of water. Wherever the fish are, you can catch them using a lure like this because it's all about the rigging. And again, it's a cast and retrieve. Sure, you can get fancy with it. You can put twitches in it. You can put pauses in it. You can extend the length of those pauses. You can speed it up. You can slow it down. But a basic cast out, let it sink to the bottom, and slowly reel it in to where it keeps in contact with that bottom is a highly effective way. Now, the reason why I say white is a universal color. It works in so many different situations. Again, not saying that it's the best in every situation, but playing a numbers game, white works in so many different places that you can catch fish anywhere on it. It's a universal color. If you think about bait fish, a lot of bait fish has some sort of white on it, especially underneath it around its belly. So this mimics that bait fish. So basically you're starting out with a natural color and a size that's not intimidating to the fish. It's an easy catch, and that's why they're so effective. Again, that's a 3.5-inch white paddle tail. Now the next lure that I'm going to recommend is going to be same size. It's going to be a 3.5-inch, but I want that to be in a shrimp imitation and a natural color at that. And the reason why is everything eats a shrimp. This is something that, again, you can take it anywhere on the planet and you can catch fish on it because it's a small profile and it mimics that natural bait that's in the area, that shrimp that a lot of these fish are going to be eating. It's an easy lure to use. However, the one thing that makes it a little bit more difficult than the paddle tail is it requires some input from the angler. You're going to have to learn how to work the lure. You're going to have to learn how to put some twitches in it. You're going to have to learn how to put some pauses in it. It's not just a straight reel and retrieve. Now, sometimes you can do that. Sometimes you can cast it out into a straight reel, but a lot of times your shrimp imitations are going to be better when you put twitches and pauses in it because that's the natural motion of what a shrimp does, and that's what fish will relate to. So it is a little bit more advanced than a paddle tail, but it's still highly effective. Now, when it comes to the color, I like using a natural color because this is pretty much what most of your shrimp look like. Yes, there's pink shrimp and there's white shrimp and there's brown shrimp, but for the most part, they're not that much different. So a natural color is going to be your best bet. And again, that works in all different water clarities. A lot of people want to think that you have to have a lure that stands out amongst, dirty water. That might help a little bit, but to be honest with you, shrimp are not glow in the dark. You don't see chartreuse shrimp, you don't see really, really bright colors, and they get eaten by fish every day. So what's really important is getting that profile down, getting that depth control, fishing it at the right depth, and then also making sure that you got that retrieve cadence down. Now, when it comes to rigging this shrimp, you can rig it exactly like these paddle tails depending on the depth of the water. Say if you're in really shallow water, less than 3 feet of water, and you're in weedy conditions, you can rig this weedless on a rigging hook like a Haas Helix hook, either an 1/8 or a 16th ounce. But if you're fishing a little bit deeper water, then it could be put on a jig head, something a little bit heavier that's going to get it down at the bottom. But again, that retrieve and that cadence is what's important when it comes to these lures. So between these two lures, I know that if you learn how to work these lures, you'll be able to catch fish just about anywhere. In fact, when I first started out with Salt Strong, I lived in an RV full-time. I traveled the country. I fished in every single state from Texas to Virginia and all points in between. And the two lures that I used was a 3.5-inch shrimp imitation and this 3.5-inch paddle tail. Because when I'm fishing in an area that I don't know, I need to remove the variables. I know I can catch fish anywhere with these two lures, so I need to concentrate on finding those fish, and that's what allowed me to do. And one thing I would like to add to it, when you're starting out with artificial lures, remember, you're learning a new skill. It's not likely that you're going to knock it out of the park the first time that you go out there. It's something that you're going to have to learn, so take the beginning trips as a learning situation. If you're a live bait angler and you know where to find fish, then start in the same areas with that artificial. Just try those different retrieves and try those different rigging methods until you find what the fish want. Now, if you're brand new to fishing, we always say it's best to start out with live bait. Live shrimp will catch just about anything, but if you want to start out with artificial lures, absolutely, and I do recommend that paddle tail because it is the easiest one to learn how to fish with, because it's effective. If you just throw it out and reel it right along the bottom, it'll catch fish anywhere. Here at Salt Strong, we just want to help people catch more fish. So what we're doing is we put together a package that's going to help you for free. We just want to show you what Salt Strong has to offer. This free package includes a free online fishing school, a live bait course, an artificial lure course, and also so much more. There's no gimmicks here. There's no credit card needed. All we need is your email. So for more information, go to saltstrong.com/free. And if you're looking to try any of the lures that were mentioned in this video, the Prawn Junior, that's that shrimp imitation, or the Slam Shady 2.0, which is the paddle tail, we do have these available at fishstrong.com. And remember, our insiders get huge discounts off a tackle at fishstrong.com. So my goal in this video was to point you in the right direction and give you a starting point when it comes to artificial lures. Hopefully this helped you out, but if you do have any more questions, go ahead and put those down in the comments below and I'll try to answer them as soon as I can. But as always, I really do appreciate you watching and I hope to see you again soon. Have a great one. Bye.